Hi, happy weekend. Yes, I'm a little late, but I'm here with the stuff. So if you want to watch the replay tomorrow morning or over the weekend, you can on the Instagram. This video will also be uploaded to YouTube, so stay tuned for it. But I have what I have, and I'm also starting off with COVID, as y'all all know the deal. So, according to the Johns Hopkins University and Medicine website, global confirmed cases are at 478,948,382. The global death toll is 6,113,994. Yes, I had dinner tonight, so that's why I was a little late. The U.S. confirmed cases are at 79,936,777, and the U.S. death toll is 976,505. So once again, confirmed cases for global confirmed cases of 2019 are at 478,948,382. Global death toll is at 6,113,994. The U.S. confirmed cases are at 79,936,777, and the U.S. death toll is at 976,505. The vaccination doses, as of yesterday, there were over 191,000 vaccinations were administered yesterday. So the total of vaccinated people in the country are at 217.3 million, which is 66% of the population. So just another run through of these numbers again. We have 478,948,382 global confirmed cases of 2019. We have 6,113,994 global deaths of COVID-19. Here at home, we have 79,936,777 U.S. confirmed cases of COVID-19 and over 976,000 Americans dead. And our vaccinations are at 191,334 that were administered yesterday. But overall, we had 217.3 million Americans that are vaccinated out of the 333 million Americans that live here. That's only 66% of the population, which 34% of the population is still not vaccinated. So with all of these numbers that I have said, and yet we are still having a debate about whether to wear masks, whether to get vaccinated, or whether to keep your 6 feet distance from each other. I mean, how many times are people going to have the same ass conversation with people? It's getting tiring. It's getting freaking annoying. You have governors and mayors yielding and kneeling to the altar to the people who refuse to take the vaccine, to the 34% of Americans that refuse to get vaccinated. We've been in this shit for over 2 years, and yet people still not understanding the severity of this situation. So I'm here to give you an overview. I won't even say an overview. I'm here to give you a speech. Whether you like this shit or not. If you don't like this shit, you don't have to watch this motherfucking live. But I'm just going to say this. With over 400 million people around the world dead, over 6 million people around the world. No, let's scratch this. I said I got my numbers mixed up. I'm going to say this loud in the back. Breaking news. Breaking news, as a good friend said to the people in the back. Breaking news. There are over 400 million people around this world are infected with COVID-19. Over 6 million people worldwide are dead from COVID-19. Here at home in the United States, we have nearly 80 million Americans infected with COVID-19 and nearly 1 million people dead. And we're still having a motherfucking conversation about wearing masks, getting vaccinated, and keeping your fucking distance from each other. I mean, How many times are we going to have this conversation? And I wish governors and mayors, county execs, whoever is ahead of a town, a state, a city, will stop kneeling to these unvaccinated people that are willing to spread this virus and keep us in this shit for a long time. We sat home, we learned about COVID in March of 2020 up until the George Floyd murder. And even since then, we learned that he had COVID in his system a month prior to he dying. And I'm pretty sure if he was alive, he would have told your dumbasses to wear goddamn masks. But I'm here to say this once again. Breaking news. Over 400 million, damn near almost 500 million people around this world is infected with COVID-19, with the nearly 6.2 million people around this world dead. Here at home in the United States, nearly 80 million Americans are infected with COVID-19 and nearly 1 million are dead from the virus. And yet we're having a fucking conversation, a forever conversation of whether you should wear a mask, get vaccinated, or keep your fucking distance. Now, I'm here to say this. If you don't want to wear a mask, then take the vaccine. If you don't want to take the vaccine, wear a mask. If you don't want to do neither, stay in your motherfucking house and not spread COVID. Cut the shit. It's just too much. I'm at a point where I don't even care if you take supplements. Just don't spread the fucking virus to anybody. Nobody wants your germs. Nobody wants long COVID. I know people that have long COVID. It's not fun. Half of them got respiratory issues such as asthma because they have long COVID. Be smart. Be responsible and stop being an ass spreading this virus. And stop listening to these holistic doctors that are telling you to drink this type of oil, to take this type of supplement in order for you not to catch COVID, or using horse doomer, whatever the shit is. Just cut it. Stop listening to them. And be smart. Protect your loved ones if you can't protect your fucking self. Jesus Christ. Like, it's just so annoying. It's nerve-wracking. I'm tired. Ugh. But anywho, I don't have much to talk about because the confirmation hearings were today, and not today, this past week, and it was rather interesting because some folks showed their whole bare ass, like their whole entire freaking quackadoodle ass. It was crazy. And to think that, Republicans can't even just be worse than what it is. I just want to play a small clip, if I can find it somewhere, about this fool being stupid. So, and this was about, I guess, race and whatnot. Wagwan, Queen Lion. Here goes Raphael. I shouldn't even say Ted Cruz, because his name is not Ted, and nowhere near his name is Ted. So this is for Raphael said this.
Under the modern leftist sensibilities, if I decide right now that I'm a woman, then apparently I'm a woman. Does that mean that I would have Article 3 standing to challenge a gender-based restriction?
Senator, to the extent that you are asking me about who has the ability to bring lawsuits based on gender, those kinds of issues are working their way through the courts, and I'm not able to comment on them.
Okay, if I can change my gender, if I can be a woman, and then an hour later, if I decide I'm not a woman anymore, I guess I would lose Article 3 standing. Tell me, does that same principle apply to other protected characteristics? For example, I'm an Hispanic man. Could I decide I was an Asian man? Would I have the ability to be an Asian man and challenge Harvard's discrimination because I made that decision?
Senator, I'm not able to answer your question. You're asking me about hypotheticals and
I'm asking you how you would assess standing if I came in and said I have decided I identify as an Asian man.
I would assess standing the way I assess other legal issues, which is to listen to the arguments made by the parties, consider the relevant precedents, and the constitutional principles involved, and make a determination.
Well, before I tear into Raphael's ass, I want to put it on a good note before I tear into their asses. So, Judge Chantay Brown is a Harvard grad who have served from being a clerk under retiring Justice Stephen Breyer to working as a public defender, and then work private practice. And then she has a long resume, serving as a judge for nearly 10 years. She was appointed by President Obama and was confirmed by the very Senate. Some of them same senators who are showing their ass, like Lindsey Graham, confirmed her and recently confirmed her. Now she serves on the appellate court, one of the second highest courts of this country. More qualified than the sitting justice, including the justice that she clerked for, to sit on the Supreme Court. Why am I bringing all of these facts up? Because the Grand Insurrectionist Party, formerly known as the Grand Old Party, the Republicans, hit a very new low with their line of questioning. If they only could get worse, they did. And that was Raphael asking, with Article 3 standing, can he be a woman? Can he be an Asian man? How dare you, Raphael? How dare you stoop to a no whole level? How dare you, Raphael, stoop to a whole new low, trying to be sarcastic by saying, if I was an Asian man, I would be an Asian man. Or if, I was a woman, I will be a woman. What kind of fucking sense are you making, Raphael? I don't know. But let's keep in mind, Raphael went to the same law school as Judge Jackson. Yeah, he went to Harvard. And you would think Harvard would send all its best. He may send Chantay Brown Jackson, but he did not send Raphael. That was not one of their best. No ma'am. The Hispanic guy from Canada that moved to Texas, that's not their best. That's not their best at all. Harvard didn't send their best, and unfortunately they let their best graduated from law school. And then on top of Raphael's stupid ass questioning, one of Raphael's old bosses that he clerked for, one of the judges, sent a recommendation on Judge Jackson's behalf. And guess who read it? The senator from Minnesota, Senator Klobuchar. But back to Raphael and his stupidity. Raphael, you doing all of this to run for president? Let me tell you something. You ran for president in 2016. Nobody did not vote for you because no one didn't like you. Republicans in New York did not like you. Okay? And I'm pretty sure they didn't like Trump, but they did not like you. They can't stand you. They can't stand you because you shut down the government back in 2013. You talked a lot of shit about New York, saying with New York values. And when you came up here, you got heckled. You got heckled in the hood. In the hood where there's Hispanic people, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans alike. They wasn't going for your, your Texan bullshit. That's right. But Raphael, you doing all this to run for president again in 2024. You will never be elected as president of the United States. And I'm pretty sure you will not be reelected as the senator of Texas again. Because you're a fucking loser. But I digress. So Raphael, you have your wonderful, glorious time sitting on the Senate Judiciary Committee, being an asinine fool that you are, because that's the only job you will have is be a United States Senator. After that, you will not have another job in government again because no one likes you. No one likes you. Nobody likes you. And nobody wants to be your friend. I'll tear into more GOP people in a minute. But here's this thing with people saying Dems didn't do anything. Dems actually kind of like held their own. They may not have been as rah-rah as people wanted them to be. But Dick Durbin did not break a sweat. Dick Durbin basically read fact-checked everything about Judge Brown's record. And the moment that Cory Booker really did, came for, he really protected Ketanji Brown Jackson. He did. And his words not only hit home for her, but for every black woman that have been mistreated at work. Because trust me, we haven't been treated nicely at work. But some people want to center themselves in our pain. I will address them later. But yes, Queen, I'm glad Chairman Harrison had her back as well. And they also did fact checking. And the Senate Judiciary Committee, they did the Democratic side of it, did the fact checking. It was more so Dick Durbin, Mazie Hirono, Cory Booker, John Ossoff, Senator Whitehouse, who came with receipts about dark money, and Richard Blumenthal. They fact-checked the whole entire record. And Amy Klobuchar. Kudos to them. And even Senator Leahy fact-checked the record and put Republicans in their place. You always don't have to be the loudest in the room. There's a saying, you always don't have to be the loudest in the room. You can fact check people with just being calm and measured. And I rather would have Dick Durbin as a chair than Dianne Feinstein on any given day to be the chair. She would be the most horrible chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. So I'm glad there's a Dick Durbin there to fact check the time in real time to basically let Republicans know, like, no, stop lying. And every time when either Josh Hawley, that's another insurrectionist, or Mike Lee, or Ben Sass, or Ted Cruz, if any one of them knuckleheads was talking, or Marsha Blackburn, or John Kennedy, he had the facts. And Chuck Grassley, he had the facts. His staff had all the facts and all the charts all together. He didn't get irate. He didn't scream. Everybody wanted him to bang the gavel and everything. He could bang the gavel all he wanted to. Chuck Grassley bang the gavel all he wanted to. They ain't help him during the Kavanaugh hearings. But Dick Durbin fact-checked everybody and kept reading it as Ted Cruz was yelling. Because Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, they were the only ones that was talking over people. And they were the only dum-dums on the Republican side talking over people. Even Chuck Grassley knew when to shut his old ass up. He knew when to shut up. Let's see who else knew. John Kennedy even halfway knew when to shut up. Ben Sass and Tom Tillis, they all knew when to shut the fuck up. And even Marsha Blackburn, to a certain degree, knew when to shut the fuck up. But no, Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, they wanted to run their little mouth. And even Mike Lee wanted to run their little mouth. And Dick Durbin put them in their place. Kept reading stuff and did not care. And they looked like idiots. He wanted them to look like idiots on TV, and that's what he made them to do. Look like basket idiots on television. So there you are. You want to watch the hearing? If you didn't watch it, it's on YouTube. Now, the conspiracy theories the conspiracy theories on Mr. Thomas, Mr. Georgia, I'm the black man, Thomas. You know, he hasn't been seen. He got released from the hospital. News came out that his wife was involved in the insurrection. That comes no surprise. Sent text messages to then Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. There's no surprise. I'm pretty sure shit ain't looking good. And the only way, honestly, she was to testify. They're basically saying Mr. Thomas needs to recuse himself and resign. Because it's not going to look good. If he recuses himself, he still has to resign. That would be better for Democrats. But to protect his integrity, the integrity that he had left, he could resign. But I want to say this little small monologue about Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas is not for us, by us. If you know that clothing line, you know where I'm coming with. He is not for black people. He doesn't belong to black people. That man was never our friend. He thought because he wasn't conservative, he thought he was above us black folks. I want to use the other word because he is the other word, but I'm trying to be respectful. You know what I'm saying? But Mr. Thomas, you don't belong to us, not because you are married to a white woman. That's not even the reason. That's way off the reason. You don't belong to us because every piece of legislation that affects black and brown people in this country, you sided with the ops. You sided with the oppressors. You sided with the colonizers. And you didn't give two fucks about us. Lift ourselves off the bootstrap? Are you fucking serious? You come from rural, scrappy ass Georgia. You are a Southern boy. You did not have your civil rights until 1968. And you was probably in your 20s then, because you much older than my mama. Let's be real, sir. But people did not have the means to lift themselves off the bootstraps. But I digress. Mr. Thomas is not for us, by us, because he vote against everything that is for black people in this country. He sides with the ops, and that includes the oppressors and the colonizers. So do I feel bad that his wife is going through some things? No. Because the mistreatment of Dr. Anita Hill. And no one never forgot that moment 31 years ago. So therefore, I have nothing left for Clarence Thomas than to resign and his wife still go through her shit. Because it's well deserved. So tough break, lady, and you, Mr. Thomas. Now, I'm on to my favorite topic. Time to read these hoes. So I read Raphael already. But Addison Mitchell McConnell Jr., Senate Minority Leader, you know, about to find his statement. And here it is. So, Addison Mitchell McConnell announced on Thursday that he is opposing Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the Supreme Court. And here is his sorry-ass reason why. I cannot and will not support Judge Jackson for a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court. And there's another thing, what he said. Other nominees to the Supreme Court have responded as I will, which is that it is a policy question for Congress, and I am particularly mindful of not speaking to policy. No, that's not him. This is his, because I'm doing his accent because that's how he talks. Where is he? So here's his statement. He cited the reasons of the opposition, and he said on answers, because his opposition is Jackson answers on adding seats to the Supreme Court, a proposal she declined, and her record in both to the federal court and U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. Judge Jackson was, let's read that. Judge Jackson was the court packer's pig, and she testified like it. I'm going to say it again in his accent. I cannot and will not support Judge Jackson for a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court. Judge Jackson was a court packer's pig, and she testified like it. That was my best Mitch McConnell's voice, but you know, you can't understand the fucking words that come out of his mouth because you know he can't talk. He act like something wrong with his voice. But Addison, if anybody is a court packer, it's you. I mean, after all, since you were majority leader of the Senate back in 2015, you constantly packed the courts. And especially during the bummed tenure in the White House, y'all stacked that court with over 218 judges within the 4 years of the lower courts. You stole 2 Supreme Court seats. You stole one from President Obama and one for presumptive nominee presidential candidate on the Democratic side, Joseph Robinette Biden. You stole 2 seats. Gorsuch, Coney Barrett, they sitting in stolen seats. And on top of that, you put a sex offender on the fucking courts. And 2 inexperienced judges on the Supreme Court. And you filled the lower courts with inexperienced federal judges younger than me. Yeah, Addison, that was you. And let's not forget. Oh, let's not forget. You block the confirmation hearing of then Judge Merrick Garland. Given the reason, we cannot confirm a new justice during a presidential election year. But you did it 4 years later because you did not want President Joseph Robinette Biden, because you knew Donald Trump was going to lose, to confirm another justice because you did not want another liberal on the court. Yeah, Addison, that was your dumbass. So this is not surprising and not shocking that you're not going to vote for Judge Jackson, who was qualified than all the sitting judges there, including your faves that you put on there and that you defend, because you defend 2 sexual offenders on that court, more qualified than them. So therefore, Addison, you can take your comments and shove it somewhere. Because we all know it's bullshit. Your party is losing leverage and your ideology is shrinking in this country. Conservatives don't rule the world no more, sir. They're dying off. The ideology has been dying off. So therefore, you can go somewhere and just fade in the dust. Have nothing left. I have nothing left. Add to the GOP like the Marsha Blackburns of the world, Miss Home Economics, domestic wife major, because that's what it is, and Mr. Insurrectionist, the junior senator from Missouri. Add to the junior senator of Indiana, which we all know you're not on that court, but you said some shit about the Loving case. Yeah, you. You guys are jokes. You guys are first year experienced senators, and you guys are failing at it. You got a home economics domestic wife major on the Senate Judiciary Committee, which is like, why the hell you on there? You got an insurrectionist serving on the Senate Judiciary Committee, which you was not even a great AG for your home state because you don't even fucking live there. Quiet as a cat. And then the junior senator from Indiana, who is an openly racist, got beef with the Loving issue, which I'm pretty sure you got biracial people in your family, but I digress. But y'all three are some jokes, along with Tupperville, whatever his last name is, and more of you knuckleheads. But like I said, your ideology is dying out. It's no longer popular because no one cares about your conservative values, which is not conservative. It's extreme. And it's disgusting. And it's filthy like Marsha Blackburn's hair. So therefore, y'all can shut up. And to white women, I meant to say this. I'm just going to give you this PSA. And if you don't like it, you can unfollow me on Instagram, Twitter. You can block me. You can do whatever. I don't care. So here it is. Black women have gone through mistreatment since the beginning of time. like all other groups of women have. But the difference is we go through scrutiny because our skin complexion, but more importantly, our intelligence. And we don't back down for nothing. Because we were built to be strong women. Black women. We were built that way. So when we go through job interviews, like Judge Jackson did, or just overall in life when we meet new people, go to school, trying to strive for better, our experiences are different. It's different. Very different. But I want to sum this up. And I'm going to make it plain. To the not all white woman crew, I'm talking to you. All women do experience mistreatment from men. But black women get it the worst. 10 times harder than white women. If I was on a job interview right now and a white woman was going for the same role that I was going for, you know who will get the job first? It's obvious. My black ass wouldn't get it because why? Because white men are intimidated by black women, including white women their fucking selves. If you didn't learn it from the Supreme Court hearings this week, from the confirmations, then you're not a fucking ally. If you're talking and centering yourself in a conversation and you're told by your own fellow white women that you don't need to center yourself because you don't go through the same experience that black women go through, and it's not registering your head, you're not a fucking ally. You know what's the best way to be an ally? Listen and not say nothing. Keeping your mouth closed. It's the best way to learn. When you don't learn and talk so much, or let me say something, when you speak too much, you're not learning. The best way to learn is to shut the fuck up and listen. And if you don't like it, you can scroll on by, block, mute, and unfollow me. And that's all I have for you. So let's put it in simplistic terms. To the not all white women crew. All women have experienced mistreatment from white men. Black women get it 10 times worse because we intimidate the dog shit out of white men. We are a threat to white men and even white women alike. If you didn't learn it from Judge Jackson's confirmation hearing, then obviously you wasn't fucking paying attention. And that means that you need to do better to be an ally. And to do that is to listen and shut the fuck up and not center yourself. And if you have a problem, you can block, mute, and unfollow me. And that's all. But until then, y'all have a good night. Be safe, be blessed, stay warm. It's still cold. And keep your mask on. Good night. Toodles. And make sure you catch the episode of Unapologetically She on your podcasts, and subscribe to our Patreon. Till then, have a good night.